Right now we're in Secwepemc Ulu. It's the territory of the Secwepemc people. And right now we're standing near Balancing Rock. Waituk, my name is Mike McKenzie. I come from Skeechiston. I live here in Secwepemc Ulu. I'm 23 years old and I'm a youth representative. Most importantly though, I live and I breathe the land here and this is my home. It's so important that people understand that what we do to the land, we do to ourselves. If we don't take ourselves seriously, all those quotes that we put up on Facebook, all of those things that we tell each other when they're feeling down, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter whether we stop bullying people, whether we stop racism, whether we stop wars. It's not going to matter if we don't stop destroying the planet.
We don't know which parts of the map are necessarily going to be underwater or which parts of the map are going to be, flooded or, ravaged by fires and drought and all of these different issues. The landscape is going to be completely changed. So we're going to be living in a world where we're redrawing the world maps. So we have to be, making sure that we're listening to scientists and making informed decisions with how we go forward. If you're not involving people my age in the decision-making process, you're leaving us with a lot of uncertainty in how we're supposed to go forward. I think that youth are able to sometimes come up with very dramatic and drastic ideas that are more exciting and also more relevant to how serious this problem is. It's a huge deal. It's the biggest problem that I think we're currently facing.
We're seeing students stand up more for climate change, equality issues, First Nations rights, you name it. I think, first of all, youth need to be educated before they can be taken seriously, and I can agree with the government on that perspective. I find that opportunity and education are the two main things that will help push and motivate youth to make change in the world.
Fossil fuel consumption is key to our economies and how we go about living every day. We can think of things in different ways than older generations because we know we're the ones who are going to have to be living through this. We understand that if we don't do something, it's going to have big effects in our lifetime.
As youth, we are the future. In a few years, some of our friends may be running for prime minister or some position of power, so we have to everyone's got to be knowledgeable about all these situations.
We can't be selfish and just be thinking about this generation or this century because there's going to be generations that go on for as long as we know, and they should be able to have the opportunity to have the same resources and the same drinking water that we have.
We need to be more face-to-face. I feel like this generation has gotten so caught up in looking at their screen that they often miss all of the beautiful stuff around us. So we all have to come together, and I think that we can do it if we just, every person does a little part.
We just can't wait for other people to do it. Like, we have to take action to make sure that we, just to make sure everything stays the way it is right now.
I think youth perspectives are important because we're the next global leaders, we're the next generation, and this is our planet, and we have to take care of it because this is where we live.
And we should have a say because we're going to be the future. Uklasish Kelila Rampanen, Histakshiks Ahuzaksub, Kuitsit MT Hasatuk. My name is Kelila Rampanen. My new channel name is Hasatuk, meaning strong, vibrant voice. Hey, Mr. Suit and Tie, won't you leave our lands alone? Everything was perfect until you claimed it as your own. Hey, Mr. Suit and Tie, think that I could just say it out straight and not have to, like, I don't know, just no consequences, really. Just say what I mean and not be afraid of what will happen.
Ain't gonna swallow your fear no more. Ain't gonna buy into greed no more. Ain't gonna follow your lead no more. Ain't gonna swallow your fear no more. Ain't gonna buy into greed no more. I miss the suit and tie. All the destruction and all the pain. Tried to cover it up. And yet it still remains. I miss the suit and tie. You got one chance at life, yet you take it for granted. But we all pay the price.
The world is so powerful that it could find a way to adapt, but I think it's good the way it is now, so might as just leave it that way.
Ain't gonna follow your lead no more. Ain't gonna swallow your fear no more. Ain't gonna buy into greed no more. Ain't gonna follow your lead no more. Ain't gonna swallow your fear no more. Ain't gonna buy into greed no more. 'Cause I'm a product of this day and age. Fist in the hair, time to feel my rage. Product of this day and age. Fist in the hair, time to feel my rage. Hey, Mr. Suit and Tie. Hey, Mr. Suit and Tie. Hey, Mr. Suit and Tie. Hey, Mr. Suit and Tie.
In one sense, I think that there are some people who are taking youth very seriously. Personally, I feel that youth are sort of just this box that's being checked in policymaking, and ideas that are coming from youth aren't necessarily really making it to paper. I don't think we're being taken that seriously.
And so the young people, we're at a point where we're just trying to figure out, what is it that we're gonna do, you know? Because we wanna do something. People, they don't realize that we're not complacent, we're not willing to wait, and we understand that if we don't do something today, it's gonna affect our children. We've got people who focus and they get sick thinking every single day about these things because they feel the land so deeply and they understand what's going on. And so when I think of disaster, I think of, you got this huge waterway right here, you've got Kamloops Lake, you know, I mean, this lake is already a disaster. What you're looking at is a lake that you cannot legally drink from it. And these disasters, they carry us through life. They teach us lessons. They taught the indigenous peoples lessons, and that's why the indigenous peoples do what they do to this day. When it comes to this area, and when it comes to what I believe in, I'm not going to be focusing on those disasters much, because I'm focusing on the love and the community that we need to cultivate and grow through these disasters so that they stop happening.
When I first went to my mom's traditional territory in Fort McMurray in Solitar Sands. And I think that's when I realized that it's a thing and it's really scary. Just a couple years ago when I did write the song Higher and Higher, here during the winter it flooded and we had to leave our home, and the river just came up really high. And then during the summer we had a forest fire here, which hasn't happened in a long time. And just seeing those things, it's really scary just to think of this is kind of the starting point of what's going to happen.
And there's going to be things in the world that change and they roll, and they're going to be dramatic, they're going to be frustrating, they're going to be great, they're going to be hard some days, and we got to stand together as communities so that we can be there for each other and that we can work through those ways. Then we have a chance. I believe that we're going to make it. I think that's what we're lacking right now, is leaders that want to step out and be bold, right? I think that's a big thing. But we need those leaders to step up, and if they don't step up, they got to step down. So the young people are getting strong. Look at Idle No More, look at Standing Rock. Look at all of it. The only reason any of those things are big is because of the young people. And because we're fed up. And we're not going to take it anymore. I think the biggest thing the governments have to realize is whether or not they want to do it with us. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be done whether they like it or not. But I'm excited. I'm not excited for any little old reason. The only reason I'm excited is because everybody's loving and everybody's talking to each other about these things. And that's all it takes. In 6 years, it'll be normal. In 12 years, it'll be the way things are. And from there, it'll change the world.